Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Cool Colas here to bring you the hustler's perspective. Got a pretty interesting topic for you guys here today. Today, I wanted to talk to you all about why you should stop caring what other people think about you. So, I kind of wanted to get into it and first tell you why I picked this topic and why this is important. The first thing is, I hear a lot of people say that they don't care what other people think or say about them, but subconsciously, I feel like they do. In other words, what I mean is, I think that we live in a society of impressions, and I mean that's just what it is. And I think we live in a society where we value certain things in society. So we have a certain way that I think certain people kind of carry themselves, and they want other people to basically respect and understand them and things like that. And I mean, like I think that there are people who generally don't really care too much what other people think about them, but I guess I'm speaking on this in a sense of I think some people care in the fact that their decisions, especially professionally, career wise, and passionate and passion wise, I think that they are heavily influenced by what other people think about them. They don't pursue the passions that they want to pursue because of what other people have to say or what other people think. I think that this is heavily true, mostly, I guess, again, on a professional level, because I think a lot of people haven't thought on the mindset of going after what it is that they believe in and not caring what other people have to say or they think about what you're doing. In other words, what I mean is, if you ever think about this, like if you ever go on a Facebook page or you ever go on some type of social media or whatever it is, if a person posts something and they say, guess what? I got a job working at so-and-so's company. That person, mind you, they're a fairly popular person, probably get about 60, 70 likes on it, and then they'll have like a row of people saying, congrats, I can't believe you did it, congrats, that's awesome, yada yada yada. Now if I would say the same thing about, hey, I started a business, most people, I'll probably get a few likes here or there from probably some loyal people, and then a couple other sprinkles of people who just happen to just like what I said, and then I'll get maybe one or two congrats. The reason why this happens is because the idea of starting a business or owning something is not something that's valued in society. So you get a lot of people who will, break you down, and they'll say stuff like, that's not going to work, and this is not going to, that's not going to work because it's not going to help you to pay your bills. It's not going to help you to do A, B, C, and D. I think people have like kind of that negative mindset. Now, me personally, I don't associate with those types of people. I refuse to associate with such negative people who have nothing positive to input. But I mean, like, you do have those people who are like that or who have some type of theory as to why something isn't going to work. And most of the time they haven't even tried it. So again, this is not necessarily related to business. I'm just giving you an idea of something that tends to happen. And that's something that really happens a lot, is that you always get somebody who's going to tell you why something is not going to work. And that's why, like, I think it's important not to really care. But so many people, I think, do. And that's why they're not pursuing the things that they want, because they're trying to make a certain impression for other people that they're hoping is going to impress their own self as well, too. I just think people just aren't aware of that. I think the other thing is, I think people believe others, people have like this, I guess, notion that others are holding them back from like their passions and things like that. And it's really not other people. Again, it's you if you're holding yourself back. Now, the thing about it is that I think, if anything, this is more of a young people problem. I think a lot of younger people, more so like in the millennial generations and people like that, they tend to have this idea of what I call impressionism. Impressionism is when, I'll give you an example. You're sitting at the dinner table with your mom and a long lost auntie. I'm being dramatic, but you get what I'm saying. And maybe like an uncle or some other people, or maybe even some acquaintances. Maybe it's a mother's friend or whatever. And the first thing that comes out of one of their mouths is, "Oh, so what are you doing with yourself? Oh, are you working right now? Oh, are you in school?" And then if you can't come up with an answer that's suitable for the question they just asked you, you're already judged. And the thing is that I think sometimes it's not intentional. Sometimes it's absolutely intentional. We all know that. But I think that what tends to happen is we find ourselves in a position of explaining ourselves to people so that whatever is going on with us is a final result and it makes perfect sense and it's understandable and it's acceptable, because essentially you want to make a good impression for other people. And it's okay to, present yourself in a light where, you want to be respected. I don't see anything wrong with that. But if you're doing that, you should be doing that for you. You shouldn't be making up something just to impress another person. So you could have these conversations with people, but I think you need to be real about, what it is your situation is and where you see yourself going and what you want to do, and not be too concerned about what other people have to say or think, because at the end of the day, only thing that they can do is say words. They can't affect you in any other way. They cannot. Of course they can. I was gonna say they can't physically harm you. They could physically harm you, but that has nothing to do with the subject. My point is that they have no merit as to your level of like success. They can't like vary it, so you shouldn't really care what they think. It's kind of irrelevant to just care about what people think. And let me kind of just tell you about myself. And this is again something that's very personal to me. I have been made fun of relentlessly when I was in elementary school. If it wasn't because people in my elementary school or other students, they thought I was smart, or it was the color of my skin. Yeah, I said it because it was the color of my skin, because obviously you can see I'm a dark-skinned black male. So sometimes it was the color of my skin, and I would get called names for that. Sometimes it was because people thought I was weak because I was nice and because I was quiet. I got made fun of because I did things differently than other people. I got made fun of in high school, not as bad as elementary school. I got made fun of in high school. I got made fun of when I was playing sports. I got made fun of sometimes in college, not all the time, because people didn't really understand my own lifestyle. But this is one thing that you have to understand. I have been made fun of so much and talked about so much that really, to be honest, I see and can understand the point of why someone would kind of be concerned about what other people think. With me, I'm not necessarily concerned about what other people think. To me, I'm kind of numb to that because I've had it happen so much. But this is the problem, is that I always had an issue because I never saw anything wrong with myself. A lot of people always say, oh, you're different, you're this, you're that. So if anything, they're trying to take my strengths and the things that make me unique and the things that make me a great person, and they're trying to tear me down because of it. Mind you, we're dealing with children, except in college, that was kind of unacceptable. We're dealing with children and people who are immature. So I guess for sakes of college, I guess they were immature. But, really, to be honest, I was still going to do whatever I wanted to do. If someone didn't like me for it, whatever. I don't care. We don't have to talk about it. We don't have to have a conversation. If someone didn't like, the way that I was, the things that I like to do, I didn't really care. It didn't really stop me. It wasn't ever going to stop me. I wasn't going to feel bad about myself later. I wasn't going to say, oh, cool colas, why would you do that? Like everybody else is doing so and so and so and so. I don't want to be like all you gray blobs when I'm a red blob. I don't mean to sound arrogant when I say that, but all I'm saying is that if I stand out and other people are knocking me down, that should be a sign to me personally that I'm doing something right, because my uniqueness and what makes me unique is the thing that helps me to stand out. And other people are going to tear you down all the time. They're always going to criticize you. So my thing is, all these people who have talked about me and dogged me, like they could have done this, and I could have said, hey, you know what? They're right, and they have a right to ridicule me. And because of that, maybe I should change who I am and be exactly how they are. There's always going to be somebody else on the left field who's going to make fun of me in return. I guess to me, my thing is that, and what I want to stress here is, you shouldn't care what other people think, plain and simple, because the only thing at the end of the day that's going to matter is what you're passionate about and if it is making you happy. But following along other people and trying to be something that I'm not is something that I will have never been, never will be, and I will never teach my children or anybody else around me to be. You need to be yourself no matter what anybody has to say about you. Point blank, period. And I think when people aren't like that, I think that it's kind of difficult, because what tends to happen is they are trying to be something that they're not. And really, you need to be yourself. That's just the bottom line. And that's the only way you're going to be successful. Now, here's why I think this is an important topic. The first thing I think is that when people try to tear you down, they are either, one, jealous of what you have, jealous of what you achieved, jealous of how you think, or they set the bar from you based on how they think about themselves. So this is an interesting one because a lot of people tend to talk about people because they feel as though they've set a limit for themselves and they have created a reality for what they believe goes on in their world, in their head, and in their space, and they are setting that same bar from you. You need to exit those people from your life, and you need to try to be around them as little as possible, because at the end of the day, they are going to hold you back because they don't really see the vision the same way that you see it, and they're not trying to, nor are they trying to encourage you. They're just trying to tear you down. So that's one reason why you should stop caring. The other thing is you have to be mindful of who you listen to, and you have to surround yourself with people who you want to be like. In other words, if you find people who are like either not in your circle or who you want to be in your circle, and they have things kind of like going on with themselves that they like, you know, that they're successful, or they're what you kind of see where you see yourself going kind of in the near future, then you should by all means talk to them, even if there's not someone who traditionally does things that most Americans or people do for whatever reason. So in other words, you should always be mindful of who's kind of in your ear, and not necessarily like care too much about like doing stuff that I guess you're expected to do. So in other words, another example is as a young person and as a millennial, most people would expect me to be out and trying to find an entry level job, trying to like go out like on the weekends, go out to a bar, get some beer with some people, and then go party or whatever it is that I do. Like my thing is like that's not my lifestyle. I'm not saying entry level job part isn't. I'm just saying that, you know, going out and being that person who just works and then like goes out, then goes to sleep and kind of repeats that process. Just because I'm not doing that doesn't mean that you know, like other. I guess like what I'm saying is just because I'm not doing that doesn't mean that I'm not this normal person, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the right words to express, I guess, what I mean by my statement. But in other words, I feel like you should be mindful who you listen to, because ultimately you should be listening to and being around people who have goals that are going to be in line with yours, and people who don't. I mean, it's interesting to get a perspective, but if they're tearing you down, it's really not all that interesting. That's just the bottom line. I think a lot of people who I guess like who have something to say about what you think and who you are, they waste a lot of time criticizing you instead of worrying about themselves. So that already tells you the mindset of the people who have something to always say about you. You want to just be able to avoid those types of people because they have no like real serious input in your life. They're really more so like criticizing you because they have nothing better to do. They have their input does not matter for your life. So you shouldn't really care what they think because of that. The other thing is this being real thing is kind of overrated. I think what tends to happen is one expresses their honest opinion and they tell you what they think about you, and they tell you what they think about what you do and how you are. And then they say, I'm keeping it real, or I'm being honest with you, or I'm being transparent with you. And what they miss here is that realism is in the eye of the beholder, that realism is in the eye of the person who is, I guess, like who has a certain perception of how their life is going to go. Realism is in the eye of what one thinks about themselves and the world around them. But I don't think that is necessarily right to take your opinion and necessarily deem that whatever you believe about something is, I guess, it pertains to another person's life. Now, it could be accurate based off of the information that you know and based off of the information they know and so forth. But I think that at the end of the day, you should say you're being honest, but at the end of the day, their idea of realism should not necessarily affect like your opinion on where you see your life going and what you're doing with your life. Their idea of being real is them just being honest and expressing their honest opinion, but it shouldn't have any matter on your life, especially if it's not positive. It shouldn't. The other thing too is that I think young people are concerned with like creating like this impression of, you know, with people because they're just trying to understand themselves in the real world, and they're trying to understand like who they are and things like that, and not be judged by other people. But really, as a being young is the best time to actually start, you know, establishing yourself in the way that you see yourself fit. So you really shouldn't be listening to what other people think about you or the negative comments other people are saying about you. Next thing is that you can't really please everyone, and it's not really worth it. It wastes time. I mean, it's cool again to present this image of yourself that is respected because you respect yourself, and then naturally other people respect you as well too. But it's not cool to appease other people and kiss their butts. It's just not really worth it. It doesn't do any good. It's not going to really make you happy. You're putting on a charade, and eventually that charade is going to fall apart because it's not really you. So if they just don't accept you, whatever. The other thing too is being yourself is the best way to be at peace with yourself. So in other words, you're happy that you did everything that you wanted to do. So, and you're going to be at peace with yourself because you did everything that that you could to be true to yourself. So I think that's another thing to kind of consider why you shouldn't, care, is that you're going to be the most at peace because you did what you wanted and not what other people said about you or that you should be doing, and something is wrong with what you're doing. Also, too, it's not your job to figure out or fix another person's belief, and therefore you cannot give it can't give you the value that you ultimately can give yourself. So, in other words, I think that figuring out how people view you and what people see in you and things like that, that's not something that you should really concern yourself with. Like, it's not really like your affairs or like your business to be able to go to people and try to figure out what they think of you and to change that opinion. Like that's a waste of time. It doesn't really do anything. And it won't give you the satisfaction that you need, even if you make your best attempts to try. The only thing that you can do is be true to yourself, be real with yourself, and do something for yourself that's going to be beneficial. Do things that, are in your best interest. And then if other people agree with you and other people like you because of it, cool. If they don't, then don't worry about them. Move on and, and just continue to just be happy with what you have done. So other than that, I think that's all I got for this topic. I kind of just wanted to speak some light into you guys as to why you should not care about what other people think about you, and why you should just be the person who you are, and how it will further you in your goals because you're doing exactly what you want and not what other people expect you to do. So that's just another thing there. So anyway, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say. I hope you guys liked the message and the video and everything that was covered here. But if you guys happen to view this and you like what you heard today, then please feel free to subscribe to The Hustler's Perspective. If you guys want to check out my Facebook page, then feel free to check me out at The Hustler's Perspective YouTube channel. If you want to check out my blog, you can go to hustlersjackpot.com. And if you want to check out the Facebook page for that blog, you can go to The Hustlers Jackpot. If you want to follow me on my business page, you can follow me at The Hustlers Jackpot. And if you would like to follow me on my personal page, you can follow me at Kukolas. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say today. I hope you guys really got something from this, and I hope you guys just stop caring what stupid people think about you. But anyway, I hope you guys tune in to what else I have to say. I'm going to have more videos to come. There's a lot going on this week, so it'll be a lot of new content out there. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep hustling.